What comes next after Belly of the Beast? Unlike from Season 2 Episode 6, which was dramatic and fast-paced, from Season 2, Episode 7 was calm and spent an hour bringing us closer to the conclusion. Though can be utterly scary even at its more serious moments, we seem to be on the verge of a major development that will permanently alter our small community as things are changing. A terrifying thing might be change. Even if it may be a source of hope and good, it can also cause a great deal of suffering. What these changes in the community will bring is still up for debate, but the current situation is unfavorable. What should we do with the dead monster? Was everyone's major concern following the tense night at the clinic. I've spent many hours watching horror movies, and if there's one thing I've learned, it's that you should always seize the opportunity to understand more about the threat you're facing. Boyd and Christy are obviously also aficionados of the genre, as seen by their desire to accomplish just that. And given how little they understand about, well, everything, that makes a ton of sense. They have very little knowledge about the creatures. Thus, learning more about them will at the very least help them in their task. Getting a look inside and understanding how they are set up would be beneficial. As an added bonus, the creature was killed by Boyd's contaminated blood. The secret to solving everything could lie in entering that body and taking some of its blood. It's not like Kenny doesn't deserve to be upset. He's had a difficult time in Season 2 of From. He still feels enraged at Boyd, one of the people he most trusted, for bringing up so many memories of grief and pain with Sarah. The Christy relationship is another issue that hasn't received much attention, but has been on Kenny's mind ever since he learned who Marielle was. He is little more than a bundle of intensely unpleasant feelings that occasionally explode into brief outbursts. He didn't seem to want to deal with the monster in any way, but it was understandable why he was hesitant. He was also right to emphasize how hazardous the creature may be. Every night they spend making sure none of those creatures enter, but now they're bringing one inside voluntarily. And although the creature appeared to be dead, given their lack of knowledge, what if it was actually hibernating? It was worth trying even though there were many unknowns, and it could have ended disastrously. Of course, we had another Kenny freakout and a jump scare before they could enter the monster's interior. But this freakout by Kenny was followed by a love confession that was both tender and heartbreaking. Even Christy herself, in my opinion, was aware that Kenny loved her. However, having something directly in front of you differs from having it in the back of your mind, or only knowing it in passing. Because, above all, I think everyone in that community wants each other to be happy. I believed Kenny when he claimed he was glad for Christy. You can only exert so much effort while sacrificing your own heart. Though, Kenny could see Christy with someone else, but he didn't want to watch as she put herself in a possibly dangerous scenario. And although I understand Christy's fear, trying to practically shame him into staying with her by bringing up the concept of them wasn't her greatest hour. There was no nefarious intent behind it. Christy's fiancé was inside detoxifying, which was one of the few reasons she wasn't now by her side. She may not have even been aware of the gravity of what she was saying. They hadn't been the A-team since Marielle came, and now she was trying to reposition them as such in order to enlist Kenny's assistance. In that situation, Kenny was appropriate to let her know how he felt while still standing his ground. She unintentionally created a can of worms, which he chose to close even though he wasn't expecting her to immediately proclaim her affections or anything. Despite the fact that it is not a from quote, isn't it the ideal idiom for the situation? Of course, Kenny finally returned to assist since Boyd and Christy are his people, and he would have never been able to forgive himself if he hadn't been there to assist them in their time of need. But the unveiling of the monster turned out to be quite